Hello, I'm Peter Brooks at YouTube, youtube.com/@RockyStream. This is my first real video, the one that I intended to make, and that's here now. So basically this video is loser. I personally have felt like a loser for quite a while in different ways, and more so upon retrospection, which I think is probably true for everybody. This video is basically a collection of interviews from people I know that I was able to get a hold of and who wanted to participate. I could have asked more people, but I felt like this, as you can see, it's over an hour long, and that's cut down. There are a lot of interviews that are 1 hour to 2 hours long in total. I cut some of those down over half. You'll see the timestamps in the description. They should be functioning on YouTube, so you should also just see it in the seeking bar. The question I'm asking essentially is, what makes someone truly a loser? And I think it's interesting because mainly what's happening over time is people, like the actual standard that people are living, what they're expected to do, the standard expectation and the realistic achievement of that, I think has changed quite a bit in at least America, where I am. And it's changed so much. For example, like the amount of adults who are still living at home with their parents is, from many different statistics ranging from the number being to around 20% to 25% to 50% at the highest I've seen. So the question I'm asking is, are the standards at which someone is a loser, is that still the same? Or do we need to redefine, or rather define, what it means to actually be a loser? I think this is something that isn't really talked about. I think so many people, I think the vast majority of people are terrified of seeming like a loser or an apologist for losers, and they're ashamed of their own quote-unquote political sides, their own sides, and what that means. Like, they would rather deny that people are struggling or being losers, or they would give excuses for it. But then when it comes to the other side, they have no problem just throwing insults out and saying, well, like, oh, I bet you are typing this from your parents' basement. And it's like, well, I literally am. That's for a number of reasons, many of which are my own fault, or not even my fault, but my choice. I could get more into that. But I think instead, I'll just share the edits of the interviews that I collected. I've been working on this video in the sense that, like, I've been doing interviews for this video since maybe February of 2024. I had an idea for it for quite a while, and I only actually started editing it today, which is I'm recording this right now the day before I'm releasing it. So I'm actually a very fast editor, but I've been being a loser in a true sense, which you'll see. I think the interviews are very good. They're very funny at times, and the people I interviewed, I think, have all been very funny and poignant. They have very good points to make. Those people are Tyson from youtube.com/DieTDie, or Die Tie Die, Frankie from Scumbagovich, Jimmy from Pingus Bomb, Scott Sullivan of Scott Sullivan MMA, BG Cumby, and Brandon Buckingham. Thank you all very much for helping me, and to the audience, enjoy the video. And I'll be working on more videos in time, but I'm kind of in a situation right now, so I don't know how long it's gonna be. Not that long, probably. So stay subscribed and enjoy. The whole point of the video is what is actually a loser? What makes somebody a loser, like in your mind?
Well, I reckon there's like different levels of a loser. So you've got your basic loser, your friend loser, where it's just like, oh, what a loser. He can't get anything right, can't work, can't like communicate with chicks, or can't like do the basic interactions, no social awareness kind of thing. But he's like, he's still your friend, you can still get along with him. And then you go to the next level and it's like, holy shit, every second sentence this guy Like that, this, every second sentence of what this guy says is like, it's totally like completely deranged. And it's just like, where the fuck is this coming from? What's going on here? It's like, is this person like listening to himself talk? Does he actually understand what it's like to interact with someone outside of the internet? But I truly believe, I have this theory, I've got this ongoing theory at the moment, that there is a good way of finding out if someone is a loser, or I like to say a lolcow, through the 7 deadly sins. So you've got lust, gluttony, envy, greed, wrath, and sloth. Yeah, is that 6 or 7? That's probably a missed out one, probably. And lust. So these people, I feel like if you start, like, if you think of someone and you're like, oh, that guy's a loser, and you start taking those 7 deadly sins and you're seeing which one he has or what one she has, and you start putting them together, you'll soon realize that, like, the similarities of those 7 deadly sins really match up with how much of a loser someone can be. And I reckon when you hit all 7, that's when you get a true degenerate, a misfit, a complete utter loser, when you have all those 7 deadly sins line up.
It's almost like being a loser is being a sinner.
Pretty much.
That's interesting.
Pretty much. And the only way that you're going to get out of being a sinner is going out to touch grass, go to a pub, communicate with your locals, have a few drinks, make sure you don't do any shoeies. You don't want to upset anyone. But yeah, I reckon there's like levels of being a loser. You got your friendly, you've got your the social awareness isn't there. That's where it starts to go. But then you've got the extreme levels of being a loser.
Total.
And sometimes there's no return. Sometimes there's all degeneracy, but sometimes there is just no return.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like you have to expose yourself to other people and allow them to bully you a little bit, give you otherwise known as like criticism or constructive criticism even. You're like, hey, you're being kind of a f***it right now. Hey, you're being kind of a freak. And you're like, oh shit, am I? And then you look in the mirror and you're like, okay. Yeah, well, that was funny. Hey, I'm going to do it differently now. And they're like, hey, attaboy. Ideally, that's how it works, right?
Yeah, basically. If you are, if you don't take criticism well, then you're basically, you're going to be stuck in this endless loop of like, why isn't this working? What am I doing wrong? People are telling me to shut the fuck up and change the subject, but I just keep going on with the subject. And I know I'm right, even knowing there's hundreds of people telling me I'm wrong. I'm sure I'm right. It's so completely fine not to take in criticism.
Oh, man.
It's completely fine for hundreds and thousands of people to tell you that your editing is bad, your microphone is terrible. What do? Do you cry about it, or you listen to that criticism and you go, you know what, you're right.
It's real, though.
I don't want to sound like I'm talking. Yeah, 100%.
It's really funny, but it's true, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I find it weird that people take criticism to heart too much, because sometimes, in social media, a lot of fans will give you criticism to want you to improve, and it's up to you how you take that criticism. Mm-hmm. And it can be like a jokingly harsh way that some people push out, but at the end of the day, you kind of got to go, okay, maybe they're right, how can I improve this? But a loser would be like, no man, I'm fucking right.
Or like, actually, it's supposed to be bad, fuck you, you don't get it. Like, there is a difference of opinion. There, some things are subjective, but it's like, no, man. Like, this is what happened with me for a while when I was clipping. It was like several months in, and someone was finally like, hey, your audio is like fucked up. And I'm like, nah, it's probably fine. And then like 10 other people said it, and I'm like, all right, what the fuck is going on? And then I like learned to equalize, or, you know, whatever the fuck it's called, with Adobe Audition. So now I'm really good at that. But now those people don't bitch anymore. They're like, oh, all right, it's good.
That's the best way to learn. Like one of my best videos is about Cultaholic, like you know, and it's a bit of a serious video, but I feel like a lot of people didn't take it serious because out of like the 300 comments, you know, 250 of them are telling me that my microphone is fucked. So, but like the videos after that are completely fine. They're corrected. But if I went like, nah, fuck you guys, you're going to listen to me talking through a tin can the whole time.
Would you like to introduce yourself? Like, who are you? Like, what your channel is?
Sure. I'm Frankie. I go by Scumbagovich on YouTube and also on everything, and I talk about bad art on the internet.
For my video, it's basically what actually makes somebody a loser. Yeah, can someone...
I think it's just anyone who very obviously has failed their potential is a loser. And I really think it's just that simple. I think you can tell. I don't think it's an intellectual thing. I think it's very much an intuitive thing. No, I'm serious. I think it's very intuitive. You can tell when you're talking to someone who has intentionally undershot their potential as a human being, either because they have a shitty personality or because they're lazy or unmotivated or whatever, you know, what have you. And the really cool thing about that definition is that it's different for literally everybody. You could be in the same place in your life as somebody else is, and objectively, they are a loser for it and you are not. I think it also depends on your willingness to be a victim. I think a trend with people who you might call a loser in general is that they're convinced that they're totally just a victim of the whims of the universe. Like, they have no agency in their own life, so they just let shit get as terrible as possible, and, you know, relationships atrophy and this and that, because they totally, like, they relinquished responsibility for improving their life. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think that's a really good answer. Basically, there's like a relativism to what makes someone a loser, right? Like, so let's say this: you could be poor and have a small friend group, and you could have screwed up a lot of things, but you're very kind and you don't blame anybody for where you're at. Is that person a loser?
Of course not.
There you go. I think
They're
that
not acting on some horrible victim impulse that they take out on everybody else, you know?
Yeah, they might even just like being where they're at.
Yeah, I like being poor.
It's like,
I did this on purpose. I love it.
Yeah, it's like, I don't need a big house. I don't need a giant TV. I got, you know, I still have a phone and I watch YouTube on that. That's pretty good, you know? Yeah, I think, and then someone who could be like, they can be very successful and have a lot of money, but they're constantly bitching and moaning and like blaming other people, or like having responsibilities. And it's like, I don't want to go out of my way to talk to people, because even if this little thing fails, I still have my empire, you know? And it's like, it gets really weird when it's like wondering why people do the things that they do, but
it's a hollow existence. That's the thing. A loser is not a fulfilled person. Like, yeah, you have your millionaire, like, Sigma grindset empire or whatever, but maybe you have no social skills, you know? Maybe you have, like, really poor hygiene. Like, maybe there's a ton of shit wrong with you that your financial success could never possibly compensate.
It sounds about right.
I'm a very big believer in people improving their own circumstances, because I was also, you know, I remember, like, when I was a teenager and I was first coming up against the fact that, you know, perhaps you don't have an attitude problem. Perhaps you actually are depressed, or there's something going on with you mentally. This was in the late 2010s. So this was very much the time of, like, Tumblr was at its absolute zenith. I was only friends with other kids who, were very convinced of, like, if I can tack on every single one of these attributes, you know, like the kind of shit that you list in your bio, then I can be absolved of responsibility for myself. I have this mental illness and that mental illness and this and that. And I totally bought into it. And I was like a fucking loser. And then reality slapped me really hard in the face when I graduated high school and had to enter the real world in college and work and whatever. And I realized, like, this is entirely an issue of mentality. I can remain as depressed or whatever was wrong with me, now I can remain that way for the next several months, for the next few years. But the way that I'm behaving, like, I don't truly believe I'm responsible for myself. So between that and the victim behavior, I would say these are like the primary characteristics that make a loser. Just someone who's helpless on purpose,
Yeah. I had somebody else who answered the question who said, and this is really interesting to me, he's like, oh, it's just like people sinning. He's like a religious person. He's like,
sinning.
Pretty much any sin makes someone a loser. Like when it's like noticeable, right? I'm like, okay. So if they're extremely lazy, that's like sloth. If they're really wrathful, like it's unnecessarily angry, right? So yeah, that checks out. Yeah, I don't know. Or like greed. If someone's too greedy, they're a fucking loser, even if they... Because it's like you screw people over to succeed, and all of your friends are like fake weirdos who compliment each other but don't mean it, like constantly. And it's like, you fucking know that. It's like, yeah, isn't that hollow? And like, wouldn't that be soul crushing if you had a soul? I don't know. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. I think your answers are really good too, though. That's the other thing that sucks is Sora's like a better fighter in 2 than he is in 3. I don't know why they downgraded him. Doesn't make sense.
Well, because 3 was just a fucking shit show.
Yeah.
You could tell there's like, they definitely fucking corporatized it.
I think 4 is going to be good, though,
I will.
ironically.
I mean...
It could be, anyway.
I could see that. So remember in 365-2 days how like you could play as each organization member, like...
Yeah, that was sick.
If you wanted to.
Why didn't they remake that? That would have been an amazing remake. Oh. You should play Recoded on like a Nintendo DS emulator. It's good.
Not for real. I'd be down for that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Like, so what questions did you want to ask me?
Oh, yeah. So have you... Okay, yeah, let's... indicator that we're starting the actual video. So how do you feel about... Like, have you ever been called a loser in your life? What do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've been called a loser. I don't know. In my life...
Do you even care if you're...
A loser's just kind of someone who sits around all day and does nothing to better themselves or to better their position, like, at all. And many times will just shoot themselves in the foot and blame others. And who just then proceeds to just drag everyone that they can down with them, if that makes sense, like to their level of misery or some shit.
I agree. Yeah, I have a pretty nuanced take too, where I don't take it literally. It's more of like someone's a loser for being a piece of shit, like or an asshole. Which I just find it interesting because I've seen people who are those kinds of people, and they'll call other people losers using it incredibly literally. But it's like everybody fucks up, you know, and it's like but the only way to truly stay that way, I mean, to actually be a loser, is either to use and manipulate others or to just give up, you know.
Well, so I wouldn't necessarily say to give up, because there are like some really fucked up moments where it's like you can't blame the person for.
Hey, you can take a break, but you shouldn't give up forever. You know, you shouldn't quit forever.
I'm talking about really fucked up like gulag type shit, like if that makes sense.
Gulag type shit, it's like torture.
Yeah, I mean,
well, yeah, I'm not. I don't think
that does get a point where it's like, you know what, you poor fella, I don't blame you for giving up. Come on, let's get out of here, like that type of deal.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I wouldn't judge someone who's a victim, let's say that. But let's say something unfair happened to me. It's not fair. Nobody's on my side. I'm just going to start drinking and ask people for money. Like, hey, that sucks that happened to you, but you got to do something, you know? And it's like, it's going to make you more epic and cool and stronger if you just get back up.
But it's like those people that stupidly get themselves into Xanax or some other really hard shit, and then they take their anger out on everyone else, and it's like, who had absolutely nothing to do with it whatsoever, or half the time don't even fucking know them. Like, straight up, a lot of fucking kids I went to school with became pill junkies and would like take their shit out on me. It's like, motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm a little bit older, I think. How old are you again? Like
27.
27? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like 35. So I never had any in my generation there were no like Xanax addicts. Like I don't know, it wasn't there yet. But we had like OxyContin and like painkillers. So it went from like painkillers to anti-anxiety meds. It's a little different, but
I mean, it's just as fucked and just as addicting.
it is. Yeah. And I think if you drink alcohol with it, you still die. So it's actually pretty damn similar. But the difference is I think OxyContin went straight to heroin and Xanax seems to just like stay there and people just, you know.
I mean, I've seen them. They usually go for like heroin or some other sort of downer.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like they usually become permanently weak, and because you know, if you fuck around with psych meds, it'll give you whatever mental illness they're meant to treat, and then some. And usually, the second part of the "and then some" is just, you know, fucking brain damage or some shit like that, or hell, maybe even a second mental illness. Ugh. But mind you, not everyone who's even strung out is necessarily a loser, because I've met, believe it or not, like a fucking, at least a handful of them where it's like you could trust your wallet around them. They won't steal from you, but and they're struggling. Like they'll get clean for like a month and then relapse. But when they relapse, they ain't stealing from no one. They ain't doing nothing.
Everybody's different,
but
for
they're
sure.
still not giving up. My heart, of course, goes out for them, and it's like, you fucking wish you could be the guy to invent the fucking money to invent the actual fucking cure for addiction instead of like methadone and all this other like shit that one really seems to get better from. I'm just saying, you go on methadone for life and they always fucking relapse and shit.
You know, I think the cure might be just
obviously it's abstinence, but
yeah, like
there's gotta
rehab,
be fucking something.
Yeah, there's probably types of drugs they don't use that would make it easier, but they probably also would still need to be administered by a professional who is watched by other professionals.
Oh, no doubt.
It's pretty tricky because it's like it's like chemical balances. If you get incredibly high, you're gonna have incredible lows. And you're going to want to feel better, and the quickest way to feel better is to do the drug again, and it's going to keep you fucked up or get worse. So it's just kind of like a you know, law of physics.
Bad cycle.
Yeah. I don't judge. What I judge, I think, is people who they do horrible shit and blame it on the drug, or how they really need the money. So like it doesn't matter. It's like,
or it's like, for example, like people that I consider to be piece of shit losers are those where every time there's a tragedy, like they never blame the actual perpetrator. They'll either blame the gun or blame something else in society.
The idea for the video is, you know, what is a loser? Like what actually makes somebody a loser?
I tend to err more on the side of somebody being a legitimate failure. When somebody's an asshole, I think you should just call a spade, you know? There's because at the end of the day, there's a lot of very successful people that are also like just absolutely like ridiculously like annoying and shit like that. So to call them losers is like, not quite. But it's not just that somebody is a failure. It's that they're a failure and they have accepted it on some level. Or maybe they don't handle the failure very well, because everybody at the end of the day fails at something, and a lot of things for that matter. But that doesn't necessarily make you a loser in and of itself.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people I've been talking to have been saying that it's when you really give up completely that you kind of become that. Like people like fail, but if you keep trying, you're not really a loser. Right.
Yeah. You know, at the end of the day, nobody is batting 1,000. You know, everybody strikes out every now and again. And the fact is, most people strike out most of the time. You know, you have a few people. I know a few people who like they got very good at one thing, and because of that, they just stick to that one thing, and they're very successful at it, which makes them successful. But if you took them out of that context, and you were like, all right, now do this, they're not going to do that well at it. So it's to me, and I would assume to a lot of people, it really has more to do with how you handle not getting what you want than it does with any sort of like bad luck or circumstance or anything like that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Have you noticed like a particular kind of mentality within like martial arts that would be relatable to this?
Yeah. It's tough because sometimes when people say these things, it is legitimate, right? Nobody likes when a referee is like ruining a fight for somebody. I've seen that plenty of times. I've been in situations where a referee makes a bad call, and all of a sudden now I'm losing the fight. That's not fun, but sometimes you see people who they end up mentioning it, and it's never really a good thing to mention in the first place. But even then, like they just don't stop talking about it, and for the rest of their life, they're like, the ref screwed me on that one, dude. And it's a really bad look, These people, it's like Saving Private Ryan, right? They go over the way to gripe to your superiors and things like that. If you're going to complain about anything, there's kind of a certain way to do it where it's like, okay, there's a little bit of class, there's a little bit of taste, but it's real easy to go overboard on that. And when somebody is like a loser, that's kind of what they do. And it's not just in fighting either. It's in a lot of different things, We've all had a moment in jiu-jitsu where like we get submitted by somebody and we're a little bit salty about it. And because of that, we try and take it away from them. Meaning like in jiu-jitsu, you're not allowed to neck crank, which is like if I just like, took your head and I started cranking it that way, or like any other way for that matter, you're not allowed to apply torque to the neck. And one of the memes in jiu-jitsu is like when you get tapped out with a choke to be like, oh yeah, it was kind of a neck crank. It was actually more of a neck crank. Like that's a loser mentality, It's basically just being unable to accept what happened and being unable to take responsibility for it. And even if you do have a human moment and you're like, oh damn it, I'm mad about this, you can't let it go.
Right. It's like reveling in victimhood.
Yes.
It's like
very much so.
Hey man, like everyone else is fucked up. I'm gonna talk about it for years. It's like, hey, if you're actually good, couldn't you like maybe even mention it once, but then fucking move on and like prove that you are actually great, and then everyone would know, like just by seeing you. I mean, yeah, I think that does apply to everything.
Yeah, it definitely does, And it's really weird to see those dudes because it's like they're trying to convince themselves more so than they are trying to convince anybody else. And in addition to that, they also are perpetrating. It's very clear, You just know, like, you don't even have to be a fighter. You don't have to do martial arts. You just kind of know looking at this person like, oh yeah, this guy, he wants us to believe it. He wants to believe it himself, but really it's just not the truth.
Are there any examples you can think of, like real life examples?
I mean, I don't want to mention names or anything like that, but there are people that I know of in the fight world specifically that like, they always have a fight lined up, but they never actually fight. So it's always like, oh dude, like I got a fight coming up. It's going to be against this guy on this card. And then the fight falls through, and it's usually their fault. There's always some issue with like, oh, I stubbed my toe, I'm injured, I can't fight, or like some weird thing like that, and everybody has fights that fall through. I've had like 2 or 3 fights over the years that I was supposed to have, but for one reason or another, they fell through. Sometimes it was my fault. Other times it wasn't. It was either his or just some weird stuff happened. But like to me personally, I'd rather like if I was scared, I'd rather just go through with it. That way nobody could tell me that I'm like trying to perpetrate, But these guys, like, there's this, maybe there's just something missing in their head and they don't think like, oh, people notice this stuff and they're going to notice I'm afraid and they're not going to take me serious. And it's just a really weird thing, you know? And of course, these people, it's not like they're humble about it too. It's always like, I got a fight coming up. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to murder him. I'm going to maul him. He ain't going to be alive after I'm done with him. Oh shit, I pulled my dick and now I can't fight. You know, like that's always how it goes.
I had a bender the week before the fight. I guess I can't do it.
Yeah, that's exactly the way that it ends up like going down, you know?
Yeah, that's really funny. So we touched on mainly a loser is like clearly someone who objectively fails. I think I agree with that too. But what like a true loser per se is someone who fucking just gives up completely, and also like tends to have a victimhood mentality.
Oh yeah, and in addition to that, they have a hard time taking no for an answer, and not in like the good way, right? Not in the way that it's like, oh, I'm going to work harder and I'm going to get it. You know, truth be told, I used to have some issues. I used to be, you know, bit of a loser myself, right? I would at least hope that I'm not anymore, but I definitely used to be. And one of the issues that I had was when I would ask somebody for something, especially like if it was like related to girls, if I like asked a girl out, you know, and she was like, no, I'd be like, oh no, oh, and I'd get like really sad and really upset. And I might even try and like beg and like just I wouldn't again, a lot of it has to do with like class and taste and stuff like that, you know? And it's just like, it's the inability to take no for an answer, the outcome dependence, right? That's a really good word that Sam and Brandon also uses this a lot too, is outcome independence. I had the opposite of that, which is outcome dependence. Which, you know, when I would get turned down for a date, I'd get like really upset about it. And I'd be like begging and pleading and all this other stuff. And like, that was loser behavior. I was doing loser shit. I was a loser, you know? And that's a big part of it, is like that victimhood mentality kind of leads into the like, oh, I'm never good enough. Oh, nobody ever picks me. Oh, kind of behavior. You know?
Right. It like takes the blame away from themselves too. And that's why it's also important to separate, like you said at the very beginning, between like someone who's just an asshole and someone who's like a loser who has that mentality about them. Because then, you know, someone will be like, well, I'm a nice guy. I'm not a fucking loser. I'm not sabotaging myself.
Yeah. And that's the tough part, is like, at the end of the day, like I said, failure is something that's going to happen to everybody, and it's going to happen more often than success will. The only people that I see that are like really that successful are people who found their shit and they just stuck with it, and they have not even like looked in the direction of anything else. You know, I know a girl, she's out in like California right now. I think I trained with her for years. She's a world champion. She's won a world championship this year, and she has not done anything with her life other than Brazilian jiu-jitsu. That's it. So of course she's always kind of up, like she's always on the upward trajectory because she's found that one thing she's successful at. But most people will not find that. So like failure is going to hit everybody a lot. But like everybody's gonna fail. To hold people in contempt because of their failures is insane. And that's also a loser mentality, in my opinion, because, again, it kind of goes back to that outcome dependence. Even if it's not for you, it's for somebody else, where you're like, oh, I thought, like, it happens with me with fighting. Like, people find I have 3 videos of myself on the internet, right? Fighting. 2 of them are a loss, 1 of them's a win. And people can only find one of those videos, right? The one video they found was one of the losses, and people see that video and they're like, oh, this guy's supposed to be a badass fighter and he lost. And it's like, that's like, that right there is like, it's almost like Schadenfreude, but for losers, you know, it's like,
look at this tough guy. He failed. Yeah. So I don't need to be strong or try.
Yeah. Either that or like, I'm better than him because some other guy had a good day when he had a bad day. And it's just like so weird, you know, and it's also tough. But like, it's tough because a lot of the time when you fail, it may not be 100%. It may not always be fair and stuff like that. But like they say, life's not fair. And you have to have the ability to be like, damn, that sucked. That wasn't fair. All right, well, I guess I'll just move on, because what else am I going to do? Stew about this all the time?
Exactly.
And that fight is a good example of that too. But I won't get into that too heady.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of people with heavy opinions about fighting that have never fought in their lives too. So there's sort of like a stability to knowing that. So like it would never really bother you if you got a lot of flack with like if someone's bitching about you online, but all the logic they use is terrible, then it almost doesn't matter that so many people repeat it, right? You just like know that they're wrong, so you can just move on. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, that's the funny thing is, like, it bothers me, but it doesn't bother me because people don't think I'm a good fighter. It bothers me because people don't know what they're talking about,
Right.
and I do, and I'm like, damn it, they're wrong, they're incorrect. I don't care what they think about me.
Yeah.
It's about them being wrong.
They're gonna get fucked
But
up in life by pissing someone off and thinking they know what they're doing.
Yeah, and it's like, even then, like, I have to be very careful not to get into arguments with people and stuff like it's one thing talking to somebody who's like, they come to me and they have a question, or maybe they said something weird, and I have to be like, hey, like, no, that's incorrect. But like, I'm finding comments on videos that I didn't even know existed where I'm featured, and there's people talking about like fighting stuff, and I have to stop myself from being like, oh no, actually that's wrong, like I'm autistic as shit or something like that, And it's like, fuck, man. It is tough when it comes to like trying to change the behavior and things like that, is because like almost all behaviors that we have are ingrained on a level that we don't even think about. It's almost subconscious. And these reactions that we have to things, we're having them because our animal brains are saying, I have to react this way, or else I'm going to lose out. I'm not going to be able to survive. So you have to constantly be bringing everything to the forefront of your mind. And anytime something happens, especially when it's something that is like really frustrating, really disappointing and things like that, you have to be checking yourself constantly. You have to be like, yo, I'm like, something bad just happened. I'm really upset. I got to be careful about how I act. I can't like tell that guy to fuck off or anything like that. Because that's what used to happen with me in baseball is I used to get upset. I used to like yell at the umpire and stuff like that. And I was far from the only one to do it. But it doesn't mean that it was okay for me to be doing it. And I wouldn't even realize what I was doing until I was halfway done, like saying whatever I was saying to whoever, And it's because, like I said, it's subconscious stuff just flying out your mouth. And if you're going to change anything, it's a constant battle that you're going to have to like get used to. You do get used to it. You get used to it and you're able to kind of live better. But in the beginning, it's tough. Probably the hardest part is convincing someone, or really convincing yourself, that you can change in the first place. And just remembering like, hey, I have to be on the lookout for this thing. But it does get easier,
Yeah. The main reason I wanted to make this video is because I know, well, I'm pretty sure that a large part of this fan base is probably a little down and out and might be considered losers to some degree, or they, if not, then they probably harshly criticize other people who they see as losers. So it would just be an interesting topic, in my opinion. Like it could help people in like several different ways. I think you said a lot of really good things that I'm going to find space for in the video too. So thank you very much for talking to me.
Oh yeah, hey, thanks for having me.
You're already familiar with like the topic of like what is a loser? Like what makes someone a loser in your eyes?
Yeah, I've done a lot of thinking about what a loser is. I mean, I've struggled with that for years because I think a lot of times I'm a loser, really, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, with me, I feel like a loser. I don't think you're a loser at all. But yeah, I totally understand that. Yeah,
I mean, it's just like everything I've tried to do, I failed at, and I've blundered every single opportunity I've ever been given, you know. Recently I tweeted a lot about it. Just, you know, tweeting is one of the only way I can take my frustrations out on the world. You know, I was talking about how I blundered my opportunity with MDE because I just couldn't stop. I just couldn't stop being me. You know, I had Sam and Jet right there where I wanted them, and I just kept showing them my spinning plates trick, and they weren't amused, and I ended up breaking every single plate in their office, and it just, you know, just another opportunity blundered by Cumby.
Do you mean that metaphorically or literally? Did you literally spin plates?
No, literally. I've been plate spinning. It's an ancient tradition in circuses and stuff. And, you know, I'm trying to be the best performer and comedian I can be. So I draw on the ancient arts for inspiration a lot of times.
But yeah, I think personally plate spinning is probably takes a lot of talent and focus and a lot of practice for sure. And the thing is, like, if you drop some plates, you got to drop some plates in order to get really good at it, right? So a good plate spinner always like picks the plates back up and tries again.
Yes, it's like a big metaphor, except I did it literally.
Except also,
yeah, but like metaphorically, yeah, you know, the plates drop and you break them, and you just got to pick them back up and keep spinning them. You know, life is just one big wheel. A plate's kind of like a wheel. You know, it just keeps spinning on. You just got to keep going with it.
Yeah, it's like a samsaric wheel. You familiar with samsara?
Yeah, one of my best friends, his name's Jonathan Hills. He runs the Buddhism Hotline on YouTube. You know, he's taught me a lot about Buddhism, really, just from watching the show and being friends with him.
Are you Buddhist? Would you consider yourself?
No, not at all. I'm not Buddhist.
You're Christian, right?
Yeah, I'm Christian. You know, yeah, I'm Christian. Yeah, of course. Yeah, why wouldn't I be?
Do you have like a specific denomination or something, or are you like? Is it kind of vague? Like, I think mine is very vague. I wouldn't even call myself Christian, but I certainly like a lot of Christians and identify with them to a degree. You know.
Yeah, I was raised Southern Baptist. I just follow the New Testament. And I would like to get into orthodoxy more, especially after interacting with Jay Dyer, getting close with him a little bit. You know, I'd like to explore Eastern Orthodoxy more whenever I go back to Florida, hopefully.
I watched your stand-up at Jay Dyer's church with a friend of mine like a week ago, and that was like so funny, man. Like, I remember watching it longer ago than that, but when I watched it with a friend, it was so much funnier for some reason. I don't know. It was just really nice.
Really, that wasn't even at a church. It was just like some little, man, I don't want to call it a convention center.
Yeah, I guess I just assumed it was a church, but you know.
Yeah, it was just like a little venue for people to do stuff at. You know, I don't know. I don't even know what you'd call it.
Maybe community center, or
yeah, maybe something like that. It was just a small place. There was about 80 people there, and really, that stand-up, that performance I did with Jay Dyer in Austin that day, really came from a place to where I thought this would be the last thing I ever did, so I had to make it good. You know,
when I interviewed several other people, I think we all came to a very similar conclusion of that. What makes a loser really, beyond success and like status, is that a loser will give up. Like, even if you fail over and over, you're not really a loser if you keep trying.
Yeah, I agree. That's exactly what I was gonna say. because, like I said, I failed at everything at this point, and I don't know if it's ever going to get better. But even if it doesn't, I can't really give up at this point.
Yeah, I think it's like giving up kind of solidifies the failure, where it's like, obviously you've lost if you're stopping, Yeah,
100%. I mean, I was going to talk a little bit about it in a video I have releasing hopefully tomorrow. So tonight there's going to be a live stream with me and a few others commemorating the life of Rusty Cage. And my video tomorrow was just about me addressing his death and all that. It's been a little over a week. I think it's time for me to address it. Cleared it with his family and everything. I have permission to speak on it now. So, just from my perspective, having so many friends that are dead now, basically I got to keep on living because they can't. 3Pac, Dylan the Hacker, and now Rusty Cage. I have to keep going because they can't. I don't want to say they took life for granted, but life ended abruptly for them. It ended too soon for them. And I still have this gift of life. I have to keep on living for them. And I know they wouldn't want me to give up because I feel their spirits inhabiting me. And I don't want to get too much into it because I'm going to talk about it all in my video tomorrow. But basically, I feel them inside of me. They're like literally with me in a way. They're living vicariously through me.
For sure. They would definitely not want you to give up. Can you tell me a little bit more about Rusty Cage? I think he died recently from, beheading?
Yeah. So, Rocky, I'm sorry. Hang on one second. I'm getting interrupted left and right. I'll be back. Or wait, just let me call this. I'm sorry.
It's okay, man.
All right, sorry. That should be the last interruption.
No, it's okay, man. Don't worry about it.
So just edit that part out. Just ask me your last question and I'll continue. Sorry.
Right. My last question. Not the ultimate question or the final question, but the last one was, could you tell me about what happened to Rusty Cage?
So Rusty, anybody could tell just from watching one of his videos, he was a very troubled, tortured soul. And tragically, he decided to behead himself on a live stream just the other day. I'm sorry, interrupted again. This is really pissing me off.
But yeah, it's like, you think we would have known better seeing him build a guillotine so long ago, right?
I really suspected this. And again, it's my fault for not reaching out. I said I'd never make that mistake again, after 3Pac and Dylan. And, I did it again with Rusty. I didn't reach out to him, and it's my fault again. I just could have. I saw him all the time, really. Was still. I'd go to Gainesville every couple months. I saw him. Went to New Orleans together back in November. Saw him. Went camping with him back in January. And just, I should have just sat his white A-word down one-on-one and said, hey, we need to talk about this. This is a real inward discussion, as I like to say. And I'm still joking even now, but it's not a joke. This is just who I am.
It's what he would want.
It is what he'd want. And if he saw me crying right now, he'd call me a slur, but that's okay. That's just, So, again, it's my fault. I just didn't reach out. I didn't reach out with Dylan. And with 3Pac, there was really nothing I could do. But, I have the weight of I have the weight of 2 people's deaths on my shoulders now. And at this point, honestly, I'm scared to get close to people because, like, this is just some ancient curse that's been put on me. Really, that's what it feels like. He really had a lot of demons. Like, just so much trauma. So many things that just went wrong in his life that I really related to. You know, I related to him on a level that I hadn't related to someone with since Dylan, to be honest. And he just couldn't take it anymore and just decided to end it all.
At least it was really cool the way you did it. And original.
It was probably one of the coolest ways you could go out, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because, you know, for me, I know it's just going to be at a nursing home, forgotten. I'll probably have Alzheimer's by then, and I'll just be telling people, I was famous on YouTube once. I swears that I was. And the nurse is just like, yeah. Let's get you to bed, Mr. Cumby. But, you know, I don't want to say Rusty was a loser, but perhaps he is, because he just gave up. And it's, dang, it really hurts to say that about one of my best friends, but, you know, maybe he was a loser because he gave up. I just know that I can't give up. Because if I take a single day that I have for granted, then I've failed. I've truly failed, and I've failed everyone that ever wanted me or wishes that I will succeed still, or wants me to succeed in the future, people that I haven't met yet. My tens of thousands of fans out there, well, I wouldn't say tens of thousands. My actual core group of fans is probably down to a couple thousand now, but, you know, they want me to succeed still. I have to do this for them.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I totally agree. I was getting really choked up during that whole time. But, yeah, it's crazy to think about a friend who's potentially being a loser, but I think you just have to, like, pull... You have to go, like, double time for them, you know, to make up for them giving up.
Yeah, and, you know, sometimes I think we're in the worst timeline. You know, my other friend Glockenstork, you know, me and him were supposed to do anything together. Basically, he's just some homeless guy that was living in the woods, but I befriended him on World of Warcraft, and we were supposed to be able to do anything together. And, you know, he got diagnosed, and I've been on my own. Our other friend, PG, he was supposed to get his physics degree, but then he got cancer. Me, you know, I was supposed to be this big-time YouTuber, be able to put us all up in a mansion, you know, take my mama on cruises and stuff, get my dad off the oil rigs, you know, and just didn't happen. Man, 3Pac, you know, he was gonna be, you know, I mean, he was a pioneer of his genre of rap, to be honest. I mean, think about all the people that came after him. Young Gravy, Young Lean, all those other people. That's post 3Pac rap. Like, there's literally a pre and a post 3Pac rap. That's how influential he was. And me and Dylan, we made it to the highest levels. We really did, with our schemes and our antics. Dylan made it all the way to the highest levels of YouTube with PewDiePie. And I made it all the way to the highest levels of the federal government, with Blumpf and his entire family watching me on Fox that night. And it was all downhill from there. I guess we were like Icarus. We flew too close to the sun. And Rusty did too, because he made this masterful series on YouTube. Really is. It's movie quality. And I tried to tell him from the beginning, perhaps this should just be a movie. Whenever we were going over the scripting and everything for it, and he built this entire guillotine. And I'm like, Rusty, this is movie quality. I mean, this is too good for YouTube. Okay, let's be honest. YouTube's just taken over by AI and algorithm sloppers these days. EDP drama. Chick-fil-A's newest fast food sandwich. Who gives a crap about that, Rusty? You gotta put this on Tubi at least, But he wouldn't listen to me. We all flew a little too close to the sun, I think, and God punished us all for our arrogance, I guess it was. Or maybe it's me jacking it to hentai every night. I don't know. But basically, we did something to piss God off. I did something to piss God off, and it's just been a nightmare. It's been the worst timeline. It really has. Because, I'm rambling here. You can edit all this out, or you can keep it all in. I'll make your video 45 minutes long, and you'll get all the advertising revenue you want. But
yeah, I'll keep the jacking it to hentai for sure.
But really, I was supposed to be a big-time YouTuber, and PG was supposed to be a physicist, building nuclear power plants, and Glockenstock, well, he's like a comedian too, but, and 3Pac was this big rapper, and me and Dylan just, being in real Hollywood films and stuff, and, Rusty holding it down in the music sector, and now they're all dead. Everybody's dead. I'm all alone, and it's over, to be honest. My channel's dead. My friends are dead. I get 300 views a day, Rocky. This ain't working for me.
Is that
I
real?
can't even get a regular job. I have a degree from a college, and nobody wants to hire me still. I've been working. That dude that scrapes the ice off the freezers at the supermarket?
Yeah.
I'm that guy.
Okay.
I am the guy that does that. That is my lot in life now.
Are you being turned away from jobs because of your political leanings?
My political leanings, to be honest, Rocky, I don't even know who I am anymore. I don't know who I am or what I believe in anymore, to be honest. And they keep telling me, I never mention it during the interviews, but inevitably the YouTube, the Google W-2s or 1099s, my bad, they come up on the background check. They start asking questions. They find the YouTube.
Really?
They're like, oh yeah, this is great, champ. Yeah, this is nice, champ. You're famous on YouTube, champ. It's always some boomer interviewing me. And then a couple days later, it's the same old story. Rejection email. Some blonde Stacy from HR sends me the rejection email.
Can they actually look up your history? Do they actually find out if you're on YouTube or not?
Yeah, and YouTube's taken down my videos for hate speech. That don't look good to an employer. Try explaining the intricacies of my incel internet celebrity video to this 65-year-old hiring manager boomer. They don't know the first word of what you're talking about. They don't even know really what YouTube is. It's like Facebook. It's a tired old joke, but they don't even know how to attach PDFs to emails and stuff. Like they're still printing stuff out.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
I haven't used a printer in 10 years.
I like paper.
So yeah, I mean, I'm sorry I completely took over this interview, but I can't afford a therapist, and really this is like that's funny. I can't afford a therapist.
No, I'm laughing because I relate. I feel exactly the same way you do. And I laugh because it's the only way I actually am able to cope.
Process it. Yeah. I feel you. No, it's okay. I'm sorry for snapping. I mean, you're like the closest thing I got to a therapist right now, really.
Yeah, I'm a licensed psychologist.
Wait, really?
No, I'm sorry.
I mean,
I'm a.
You could have fooled me.
I'm a habitual liar.
Same. I mean, I've been called that too. It's fine.
I forgot what I was going to ask earlier. About 3Pac. He really went way too soon, didn't he? Like, I still listen to PewDiePie as a child rapist every day. That is such a banger.
Yeah, it's 2015, I believe he passed on.
Wow. I've seen the playground he did that music video in. Looks exactly like the one in my town, and I kind of wonder if he was actually literally from my town, and I maybe even went to school with him.
Yeah, I believe he was from San Jose, California.
That's it. That's the one.
Really? No. That's crazy. That's crazy. As Charles Carroll says, that's crazy.
Whoa, what? Really? That's crazy, man.
I really enjoyed meeting Charles and talking to him.
Yeah, you had dinner with him, but is that public? Is that public info?
Yeah, we got a little picture together.
Okay. Yeah, that's
met
really
the twin
cool.
boys. Athena cooked steak and what else? It was some kind of fish, and we drank raw milk and blueberry wine. It was really good.
Blueberry wine. What would you say your favorite wine is?
Honestly, that blueberry wine was
Probably
some of the best I've ever tasted.
Sounds pretty good.
I'm not a big wine dude. But I mean, if I had to choose, probably like a red wine.
You big drinker?
No, I mean, not really. I don't have a lot of vices, to be honest, which is why I'm so dumbfounded as to why I pissed God off. Because really, I don't have a lot of vices. I mean, like I say, like, I like hentai sometimes, but that's about it.
Yeah, is it so bad? Does God hate the Japs that much?
And I mean, I'm not even getting into the freaky hentai, I'm watching like vanilla opie, like not even no tentacles, no NTR, no man, what's another freaky genre? Old bastard, like nothing freaky,
What the fuck? Is that real?
I mean, I like a little Yakudan, but
what is that?
What
is that?
Yaku? Oh, Yakudan?
Yeah.
Oh,
is
man,
is that like takoyaki? No, that's not it. I have no idea.
It's named after a food, but it's also a hentai genre.
That makes sense.
Yeah, we don't have to get into it on stream here. I'll tell you when the cameras are off. I don't want to get you demonetized.
Just send me some links.
Yeah, I can totally recommend you some too.
Do you frequent the alternative board? What is it? D
/D?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a D. Oh yeah, I'm a D guy. Yeah.
I unironically used to go to 4chan a lot when I was like 18, like way back. And that was like before they had poll. And B was basically poll like today. It was like really tame, relatively.
Yeah, B is just, it's all porn now.
Yeah.
And really...
Didn't used to be.
I used to astroturf on 4chan all the time. Really, I think that's one of the reasons why I blew up. Was because I was doing that guerrilla marketing like Soulja Boy did back in the day.
Yeah, that works. I gotta be my own hater. I gotta pretend to be somebody who hates me and talk shit and post my videos on 4chan.
Yeah, I mean, really, I got the idea from Soulja Boy from back in the day. I mean, he was a genius how he did it. He would. So this was back when LimeWire was a thing, and he would upload all his songs to LimeWire, and he would name it. He would name the files as popular songs that were coming out in like 2005, 2006, or whatever. So it'd be like Black Eyed Peas, Rihanna, T.I., whoever else was popular, 2005, 2006. But it'd be his music. So
it's really smart.
They download the music expecting some Rihanna, and it'd be Soulja Boy up in his hole, you know. Honestly, it's genius how he did it.
Yeah, that is smart.
So that's kind of what I did back in the day on 4chan. I would just astroturf, and I'd advertise on Funny Junk and stuff too, and it helped. I blew up back then, but you can't really do that today.
Yeah, I guess not. I think I either saw you off of PewDiePie or 4chan for sure. I think on 4chan it would have been people being like, look at this cringe Antifa or something. And then they would soon learn that, you know, you were playing a character. It was really good.
No, it was real.
Oh yeah, it was just a phase you had. Sorry.
I mean, I really was wrapped up in the revolutionary politics of 2016. I'd kind of go back and forth between being a Trump guy and being an Antifa guy. My mind was very easily melded back then. I mean, I was only 19, 18. So just typical 18-year-old behavior.
At least you were trying to do something, you know. A lot of people don't even try.
Exactly. I thought I could make a difference in my local community. But, you know, like most things, I failed.
So after everything we talked about and, you know, about what really makes somebody truly a loser, has your opinion changed at all? Or, like, what do you think you would say now?
No, I think it stayed the same. And really, you know, I've had a week to think about this interview. And like I said earlier, what a loser is, it's something I think about all the time in relation to myself and my dead friends. And I don't think it's changed. A loser is someone that they give up. They take life for granted. They take opportunities for granted. And they don't take advantage of life, of what they're given, their family, their friends, you know? I've had so many people die on me now that if I have anyone come into my life from this point on, you know, I'm not taking them for granted whatsoever. They ask me to do something, to hang out with them. They call me, they text me. You know, I'm there. I'm going to be there for them. I'm going to text them back. I'm going to call them back, you know? I won't take a single thing in my life for granted from now on, you know?
Thank you very much for talking to me. And I think everyone's going to appreciate what you had to say very much. And I'll be there for you, man. I'll be there for you anytime.
I appreciate that. I still got people in my corner. Mm-hmm. Some people you've interviewed actually, like Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I really appreciate him and what he's doing. And really, I think what he's doing is kind of like the future of YouTube. If you don't want to fall into the AI algorithm slop, bottomless pit, stuff like what Brandon's doing, that real investigative journalism, that's really the way forward, or one of the ways forward, I think. But I really do appreciate you interviewing me, and I'm sorry for the interruptions and everything. I'm happy to do it. And it looked real unprofessional on my part. I'm sorry.
Nobody will be able to tell the difference in post. And also, I don't mind anyway. All right. Peace, man.
Peace.
In your own words, like, if you were to say someone's being a fucking loser, what does that actually mean? Because everyone seems to have their own definitions of it.
I've never been asked that question in my life. It's an interesting one. What is a loser? My knee-jerk reaction, I don't know. If I thought about it more, I might give you a different one. Knee-jerk reaction. To me, like, a loser is someone who is provided opportunity and they do nothing with it. That's one definition I would think of a loser, like someone who has things at their disposal that they could use, and they just like are fucking. They don't do shit with it. They're like fucking losers. Aiden Ross's friends that he is paying to stream, and they're not streaming. Like they're like some of the biggest fucking losers I could ever imagine. People who like someone who has money and kids, and they choose to not take care of their kids with that money. Like they have an opportunity to be a father and to care for people, and they don't do it. That's like one of the biggest losers I could think of. Someone who has a great family and opportunity to go to college from their family, but they instead just do drugs and say that their dad is mean to them. I mean, that's like one of the biggest losers I can imagine. So I think a loser is someone who has opportunities and they throw them in the garbage for meaningless reasons.
I'm really glad you said all those things because nobody else has said that yet. And
is that a reasonable response?
Yeah, I think it's actually really good points too. So it's mainly like people who don't take advantage of what they have or even like realize their potential. What was that, like a boomer thing where they have a lot of money but they don't take care of their kids? It's like they're locked into a mindset they had before they had money or something, or they're just
like you have all this money in this house and you're in a great situation and your kid is in college struggling with like a tooth infection and you want him to work at 7-Eleven for 7 months to pay for the tooth, the dentist bill or some shit. I mean, that's like, you know what I mean? Like shit like that. That's like loser ass shit.
That's incredibly common from like other people I've talked to. They'll complain about their boomer parents, but like you get to the details and it's like that. It's like, what the fuck, man? That is fucked up actually.
Yeah. And the reason I framed it that way is because if you think about like someone who has no dad and their mom is a fucking crackhead and they live in the hood and their friends are all getting shot, and they're like a do nothing person, like they are a loser, but they're way less of a loser than someone that has rich parents that are like trying to act like a fucking gangbanger or some dumb shit that they don't need to act like. Like they have opportunity, they're not even seizing them. Like what a fucking loser. If you don't have shit and you have no opportunity, you could definitely still be a loser, but I think in my mind, you're a little bit less of a loser in the schemes of things.
What I've talked about a lot with other people is that there seems to be like an objective loser, someone who's like literally losing at life, but they can have a really good attitude to where nobody would call them a loser, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like when people call someone a loser, it's even has nothing to do with them being successful or not. It's like they have a fucked up mentality and they're like a loser at life because they didn't learn how to be decent or something like that.
Yeah, I think attitude is a really big part of it. I think attitude can affect, like it's like a multiplier. Your attitude can be a multiplier of your loser factor.
Yeah, like so is it possible for someone to be very successful and to still be a fucking loser?
Yeah, I think Hassan Piker has the opportunity to be like a stand-up decent guy, and instead he chooses to be a fucking freak loser. Can I say that?
Yeah, I can edit anything out if I need to, honestly.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, why? Like, do you think Hassan's a loser? Like someone like that? Or like who is someone that you think is successful that is a loser, and why?
I think people who, like, what comes to mind oddly is like Bill Gates. Maybe not him. Maybe I'm thinking of someone like that. Where
iDubbbz.
Yeah, iDubbbz. Yeah, he has a lot of opportunity and he doesn't seize it. And when he does try to do something, he does it in the most like fucked up, like non-commonsensical way.
Like he has money, he has fame. That like he was kind of making a lot of internet culture more popular. You know what I mean? Like he was 2016, 2017, or even before that when he was doing the content cop stuff. Like he was on fire. He had such a great opportunity to be such a influential internet person, and then he's just started to do whatever he's doing now with Anissa. I mean, he seemed like everyone thinks he's a loser, but he's not a loser. Like
in a material sense, yeah, an objective.
He's very successful.
Yeah,
he's very successful.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I was a huge fan of iDubbbz when he was doing content cop and hanging out with like Max Mofo.
Yeah, Filthy Frank. Everyone was. They rocked. So I mean, I think attitude also comes back to like let's equate it to fighting. Like people lose fights all the time, but they come out kind of winning because they worked so hard to win. They still lost, but their attitude and their effort that they showed, and the fact that they were trying to seize that opportunity, made them seem like a winner. Like for instance, Forrest Griffin and Stephen Bonner both got a contract on The Ultimate Fighter. Stephen Bonner lost that fight, but he'll forever be remembered as a winner. in that fight, but he technically lost. While you have someone like Derek Lewis and Francis Ngannou, when they had a fight, if Derek Lewis won, but they both lost because it was such a boring, wasted opportunity of a fight, wasted main card, boring as shit. So I think that's a good example.
Yeah, in a similar way, it's like someone who wins a fight. I think there's that guy Dad from the Creator Clash match where he won with, like, the other guy had zero chance, didn't put up a fight, but it seems like he wasn't taking it seriously, and then Dad flaunted very bitterly after he won. So it's almost like he lost in a way because he hurt his image and reputation so bad from being like, I don't know what the right word is, petty or bitter.
Yeah, that is unreal, bro. I like bash him in one of my videos and people were defending him. I don't get him. I don't understand what the fuck that guy's deal is. To me, he seems like a fucking loser. But apparently he's cool or some shit.
That's exactly it, though. That's what... so I think like a big part of it is probably like attitude. You have to have spirit and some goodwill, where even if you win, you have to, like, you know, put your hand out and try to help the guy up or something. Or
sportsmanship.
You get better.
You know what some loser shit, bro? You know what some loser ass shit? Fucking people that put their that have resources and time, but they put their fucking parents in retirement homes to rot. That's some loser ass shit, bro. Because these are people that took care of you, changed your diapers, and helped you, and then now you think that they're a burden, and you just put them in a retirement home. I think that's like a, you know, because you have the opportunity to see your parents out in their last years of life, which is a difficult thing, but instead you push that on someone else.
Yeah, so like a lack of empathy. It's a little different, but I have a cat that's like 20 years old, and a few years ago when I was like totally broke, well, not totally, I still had like a couple $1,000s, but my cat needed the surgery that cost like $3,000. It was like almost everything I had at the time, and I still spent it. And like she got better and she's still here, but I know that's completely fucking different from like taking care of your parents, but it's only similar in the way that you could just give up on something, or, you know, you can just you know, continue to try and do what is actually right.
Yeah. And some people might listen to this and think that we're just complete dumbasses, because like, I guess fundamentally a loser is someone who fails at things. Right, but someone who doesn't win.
Someone who's a sociopath would be like, "Oh, of course, it's like, it's fucking binary." They'll see it as a 1 and 0. But it's like that mentality that they would have makes them like they could get rich and get everything they want, but like their heart will never be a winner. Like they'll never actually have learned anything worthwhile. They would have only learned how to gain material things, and that makes them ultimately. You know.
Yeah, well, I guess it is an interesting question because it's such a subjective thing.
It is, yeah.
You know, like what actually makes you a loser?
Yeah, and I'm objectively, like, to a degree, a huge loser. But in the, you know, spirit side of things can go wrong, and I'm not giving up, and I'm gonna try new angles, and, you know, I'm working to become healthier. You know, basically, so even this, like, people who aren't assholes, they can also just have a very weak spirit and become, like, black-pilled and give up and make their lives worse. And in a way, they're kind of losers, too, even if it's, like, kind of harsh to say so.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, like, in a different way. So, you know, I think putting people who go out of their way to put others down that don't necessarily deserve, or you attack someone with no angle to try and help them either. Like if you
just
criticize,
like pure hating.
Yeah, if you criticize someone, it should be with like, you're fucked up or you're stupid. You should think of it like this, you know, or this is what you should be doing. And if you do this, that would be really cool of you and you would do better. And I could show you how to do that. You know, that's, I mean, not everyone deserves that, frankly, but
yeah,
it would be nice, you know.
I mean, I think on paper you could make an argument that I'm a loser because I'm 28 years old. I don't have that much money. I live at my mom's house.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't have kids. I do YouTube. I don't really have a career that's like definite. But I guess it is all about how you frame things.
Yeah, and especially because over time, what we think is a social norm with So it's not normal to still live with your parents when you're an adult, right? But over time, in the last like 20 years, that number has gone way up to where it's like, it used to probably be like 20%. Now it's closer to 50. So it's like, are you really going to say that half of everybody in that generation is a fucking loser? Or it's like, either it's yes, and we need to fix it, and here's how to fix it, or they're not losers, and actually it's totally normal, and we just reframe, you know, like we move the goalpost, basically.
Yeah, and like me, I don't think there's opportunities I'm not seizing. Like I'm definitely working like as hard as I can to make this internet YouTube stuff happen. So I don't know, but on paper, not looking that good, Rocky. It's not looking great. The 20-year-old.
That's why I made this video for myself, because bro, I'm doing a little worse, but I feel good.
I have a song called Loser that I wrote in like 2017 about how I feel like a loser. I feel so stupid. No goals reached, never reach conclusions. It's just me. It's like a poem I wrote about how I feel like a fucking loser. I felt like a huge loser in college. Like, even though I was in college, bro, I just felt so bummy, like having no money and fucking struggling, bro.
Fucking
struggling with sobriety has definitely contributed to me feeling like a loser. Like, if I say that I don't want to smoke weed and then I let myself down and I'm like failing myself, like, that definitely will make you feel like a loser. You know, telling yourself you're going to do something and not doing it, I think subconsciously makes you feel like that for sure.
Yeah.
Because in a way, you're like failing yourself.
Yeah, it's definitely tricky to set a lot of goals for yourself because you're trying to get better, but you might be way too hasty with the goals that you're setting. You need to take it, like, make it manageable for sure. Because, yeah, like you said, you start to fail some of those, you're going to feel like shit. And honestly, for people who use substances, right, drugs or alcohol or whatever, it seems to be an escape from anxiety of feeling bad about something. And I think it's usually about regret, or, you know, trying to escape expectations for yourself, or, you know, something like anything. Because I drank alcohol for 7 years straight, like heavily every night, and I was like constantly in regret about the past. And it was ironic because I only continued to create more regrettable situations for myself. Or even if it wasn't that bad, it's still like, at some point it's like, oh fuck, it's been 7 years. I'm still thinking about what happened like 15 years ago. Like, I need to fucking move on and like live my life, you know?
Yeah, because we all have a pretty amazing opportunity to like wake up and seize the day, you know, live in the now, as they say. And definitely letting that opportunity go to the wayside can make you feel like a loser, because life is a great opportunity, whether we realize it or not.
I don't know if I should have this in the video, but are you still like struggling with like addiction or anything?
So I did like I was sober from October 1st until Christmas Day, and then I got drunk and smoked weed on Christmas, I believe, and then smoked weed like every day from Christmas until March 1st. And then when March 1st came, like leading up to March 1st, I was like, bro, I'm smoking way too much weed. I feel like such a piece of shit. Mind you, I'm the only one that thinks I have a weed problem. It's just like in my head, you know what I mean? I don't like that. I don't like relying on things. So yeah, I've been sober from weed for 10 days. Sound like that sounds like a loser shit right there.
No, dude, it's like
sober for weed for 10 days, bro.
No, it's when someone is like, I've made it 6 hours, dude. That's when it's like, oh fuck.
I act like weed is fucking heroin, but
just
I've done hard drugs. Like, I don't know what it is about weed. Weed is just like, shit is addictive to me personally.
I loved weed when like around the time I was 25, I suddenly got insane anxiety from it overnight though, and I quit. It didn't used to do that to me.
Yeah, weed can be really fucked up for your anxiety. But, you know, speaking of opportunities, I feel like I have forced myself to have an opportunity on YouTube, and the last thing that I want to do is fuck that up. So I just want to keep working really hard and making shit happen.
Do you have like phases where you go out and film a lot of shit and then you come home and edit for a long time and just like take it easy?
I like it to be like that, but what it turns out is like I just got back from a trip where I went from Puerto Rico to New Orleans to San Antonio to Houston to Austin to Dallas back to Austin. I just got back from that, and then I'm like, all right, I'm not going anywhere all of March. And then now it's like I'm going to Richmond, Virginia in 5 days, and then I'm going to do a 6-day trip to New York where I'm going to all these boroughs, and then I'm going to Salt Lake City at the end of the month. So it typically doesn't work out like that, where I get to take as much time off as I want. But yeah, I would like to. It's just hard for me whenever there's an opportunity to film a video that sounds really interesting to me. It's hard for me not to go do that. But,
yeah, I understand that too. It sounds like kind of crazy how trying to not be a loser can drive you to overwork, and that causes anxiety too.
Yeah, I super don't want to fucking fail with it. To reframe that, I super do not want to be a loser with the YouTube shit, you know? Because that's like, bro.
I don't think anyone sees you as a loser, to be honest.
Yeah, but if I fuck it all up, if I were to not upload for like 6 months, or I were to fumble the ball and somehow my audience, I think there would be a pretty loserish look. Like, damn, Brandon, you got over 500K subs and you fucked that up. You're a fucking loser, bro.
That is fucked up.
That's good fuel, though.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't get my subscribers by accident. I feel like I had to gnaw and claw my way up. So it's not like I never like popped off. It's been a very slow grind. So I should be fine. But yeah, it's motivating. If you don't want to be a loser, I think that's pretty motivating. Like, who comes to your mind is like, who's like the biggest loser that like you could think of?
I mainly just made this video because I felt like I'm a loser and I just wanted to talk about it. But
I think a lot of people feel like losers.
Yeah, I think so too. That's what I started to think about it. I think that's what's going to make the video so interesting, is because everyone's like, wait, am I a loser actually? Like, what does everyone else define loser as, you know? And it's like a big discussion that like needs to happen, because if people write off like, well, this is okay that I'm doing this and this and this because I've had all these problems, I'm not really a loser, you know? It's tough. It's a long, tough conversation to have.
I really like outcome independence, because outcome independence essentially is all you can control is your effort. So you just try as hard as you can, and then the actual outcome is out of your control. And I think I like that because I so badly don't want to be a loser, but I really don't care that much about being a winner and winning. It's more like I super just don't want to be a loser. I want to be, I mean, being a winner would be cool, but I just want to not be a loser more than anything.
Yeah, I at least want to realize my own potential. And it's like, that's separate than actually succeeding. Like, I want to know that I performed as well as I could have. Like, I guess that is outcome independence.
Yeah, so that's like trying your best in a way is a way to avoid being a loser. But I don't know. Maybe there's definitely times where you're going to try your best at something and you're still going to end up a big fucking loser, because maybe your best is some loser shit.
No, I believe in myself, man. I can do anything.
Not you specifically. I'm saying just in general. Like,
yeah, some people, you know, I think everybody needs to refocus what their efforts should be towards. It's like, I wouldn't try to be the best basketball player in the world because I'm 5'11" and I suck dick at basketball. Right? So that's a totally unrealistic goal. But if I want to be like an artistic video editor and shit, like, yeah, I can fucking do that. Like, of course I can.
One of the biggest things that has fucked my head up in my life as far as like winning and losing comes back to my sport that I played the most, which is wrestling. And I was ranked 5th at the national tournament my junior year and my senior year. My junior year, I went 1-2. So I didn't place, which was just like, I fucked up and I felt like the biggest loser. And then my senior year, I won my first 2 matches and then blew out my ACL and had to get massive surgery. And I would say the first year that I failed to All-American when I was the 5th seed felt worse because I didn't go out firing. I didn't go out seizing the opportunity. You know, I lost by 1 point and I didn't end the match like shooting takedowns. I ended the match almost conceding defeat in a way. Not in my mind, but when I look back on it, I think it was a little bit of that. But my senior year, like, I went out with my knees completely mangled and I tried my best, and it just was what it was. It was out of my hands. So I definitely think you can You can lose and be a loser, or you can lose and it just be something that happened because you still tried your best.
Yeah, it's almost like what you choose to do immediately following the defeat is what truly makes it like a loss or not. Like you lose and like, oh, okay, I'm done forever. Then yeah, you're like conceding. You're deciding to be. You're keeping that L, right? But if you're like, okay, I'm gonna train, I'm gonna rest, and then I'm get back to it, and I'm gonna win again, then you're just back on the path to winning, right?
Yeah. Speaking of being a loser, bro, my most recent video, my lowest viewed video since 2021 was the last one I dropped, and that does not feel good at all, and it feels like a fucking loser's quest that I was on. But I could sit around and harp on it and beat myself up and be like, why isn't the algorithm letting my video get views, the watch time, the click-through rate's good, and I could harp on it and feel like a loser, or I could get back to work and get focused on my next trip, my next video, what am I editing, what shorts are we posting, what's with the merch, you know what I mean?
Victimhood mentality is a big part of being a loser too.
I'll say this, I think over half of being a loser is allowing yourself to feel like a fucking loser.
Yeah.
And to stew on it.
Yeah, that's what's going to actually bring you down and like, oh, I feel like shit. I need some way to feel better. I'm going to become an alcoholic. Now I'm really a loser.
Flip side of that coin is people who are immune to ever feeling like a loser, and they think that they're a winner no matter what loser shit they do. I think that would be the opposite extreme, right? They think that they're a winner no matter what, but they fucked their whole life up and don't even realize it.
That's what some people say about what weed will do to them, is that it'll make you feel accomplished, like when you haven't actually accomplished anything.
Yeah, one of the biggest issues with weed is it messes up your reward system.
Right, that's what it is. Yeah.
I'm feeling emotions that I would have feel if I walked 4 or 5 miles, but all I did was hit a bong in my fucking basement. Or I'd feel the emotions I feel if I were to complete a really good video that I was proud of, but I was just smoking a joint with my friends.
Right.
So then it's like, then you become unmotivated to work towards these things that make you feel good because you fucking loserified your brain by clicking the feel good button too many times. Same thing with alcohol or any drug.
Yeah.
Or even sex.
Yeah. That is true. Damn.
But yeah, for anyone out there who feels like a loser and doesn't want to be a loser, anyone who out there feels like a loser and doesn't want to be a loser, you just have to keep reevaluating yourself and trying your best, making a good effort.
Yep. Path of self-improvement.
What advice do you have for people out there that feel like a loser but don't want to?
But don't want to feel like a loser and they feel like one. Mm-hmm. I'd say the exact same thing. Reevaluate. Self-improvement is definitely, I think, the point of life. Aside from like, acts of kindness and things. I think it's mainly self-improvement, and the only downside to that is someone who overthinks it and hyper fixates on improvement to the point where they become like neurotic, and like just kind of implode. But it's like, if that's the case, then you actually need to relax and like switch.
Yeah, then you're teetering on self-obsession at that point.
Yeah, so it's like if you're self-improving to the point where it's actually becoming detrimental, then you're already there, and you just need to chill out temporarily and then go back to it. And I think most people don't have that problem. I think most people create excuses for themselves constantly. I know I did. I was both a pothead and an alcoholic for a long time. Not at the same time. It was like 6 years of weed and then like 7 years of alcohol. And I know exactly what that entails and why people do, or why I did it. So, but yeah, I just want to realize my potential and actually do something like meaningful. Because I saw that all of that was an illusion. Yeah,
and I guess there's people out there that drink and they smoke and maybe they're happy, but I think it's about how you quantify success in life and how you quantify happiness. To me, community is one of the biggest things. It's really important that I have a good community, my family, my friends around me. So that's why when I think about losers, I almost think about people who, betray their friends or don't take care of their family or just aren't there for people, because I feel like community is one of the most valuable things in life. I don't even feel like I could be happy or successful with millions of dollars if I didn't have people to spend it with and hang out with. I don't think any amount of money or success would make me happy. So like, I feel like community is one of those building blocks that are important to life.
Yeah, if you had no friends but you had $1 million, I imagine this guy who's in like a really expensive, like skyscraper apartment or something in the city, and he's just like logging into World of Warcraft or something to talk with his internet buddies that he's making there.
Yeah,
like,
or he's doing coke. Or he's doing coke and banging prostitutes, and he's about to blow his.
That too.
You can't make references to. Yeah. Make sure you edit that out.
Yeah, he's gonna kick the bucket.
Yeah, he's gonna kick his own bucket. He's gonna self-immolate. He's gonna Aaron Bush now.
Yeah, he's gonna free Palestine by himself with fire. It's like fucked up. What do you think about that? That is fucking insane, right?
I mean, when the monk did it, it seemed like it made a pretty big splash. When he did it, it seemed like he just got shit on Twitter. So I think it didn't go. It did not go how he wanted. And I'm not bashing the guy at all, bro. I feel horrible for him and his family and what happened to him, and that he did that to himself. It's really sad, but I think that he thought he was going to go out like a martyr. Or maybe to some people he is, but from my perception, it seems like
he is a martyr.
A lot of people calling him mentally ill. A lot of people just calling him mentally ill, which, you know, who knows? Maybe they're right. You never heard them call the monks mentally ill, though. Those monks, they've painted those monks that set themselves on fire like heroes almost.
That is weird. Were the monks like recent too? Is that not even that long ago?
I don't know, and I also don't know why they did it. So I'm sure that makes a really big difference.
Yeah. Like, I feel bad for the guy. It is terrible. But to me, it's like there's in no way is the answer to fucking in order to get things done. Thank you so much for being here and talking about this.
Of course, man. Thanks for having me. Shout out to Rocky.
I feel like a loser. I feel so stupid. No goals reached, never reach conclusions. I'm like a fucking idiot. Clueless, but I'm living it. Constantly giving in. Bitching that I'm sick of it. Why can't I ever finish it? I always let opportunity pass me by. Try as I might, still I lie in the night with no sleep, zero sheep in my eyes.